Mic check one, mic check two, mic check one, mic check two. Here we go. Here we go. All right, guys, it's another one of those nights where I'm getting everything set up at the last minute. Everything came down to the wire. Oh my gosh, we got a lot going on, but we are here. I got one more thing I need to launch, and we can go ahead and get the show started. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend, and we're going to talk about that again because that's in the script. But give me 1 second. Put this where it need to be. Got it. We got the prompter going. All right, we all set with that. That's that. All right, we about as set up as we gonna be. So let's go ahead and get this going. The beginning of the week is always kind of rough because we got to get back in the flow of things. That 3-day weekend, boy, I got spoiled not having to do no live stream. But we got the sound, we got the light, we got all that set up. Okay, so we can go ahead and we can get to it. And the chat replay should be working now, guys. I'm about to double check that right now before we start the stream. So on YouTube, what was happening was when I trimmed the video. Okay, we are actually live. We good. When I trimmed the video, it would cut off the chat replay. I think we're good because it doesn't look like I even got the ability to change those settings now. So we're all set. Let's go ahead and get started. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. So let's go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Tuesday, guys. And I hope you guys had an awesome and safe Memorial Day weekend. And I wanted to say thank you to all of those who follow and supported the I Am Original Greatness official Facebook page. So I'm gonna pull that up on the screen right quick. This link right here. You guys showed up and showed out. We crushed that goal of 100 followers over this weekend. We're actually on our way to 200. So now I'm actually able to live stream on that official Facebook page. So thank you guys so much for that. All right, now, tonight, we are taking a look at ticker BULL. You might know them better as Webull. Webull Corporation was founded in 2017 by Wang Anchuan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. With the first office opening in New York, New York. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $3 billion. Yes, that's with a B, billion. Webull is in the capital markets industry and the financial sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Webull's competitors, some of Webull's oh my gosh, give me a second. I'm reading too fast, guys. Give me a second. Some of Webull Corporation's competitors are Robinhood Markets Incorporated, ticker HOOD, Interactive Brokers Group Incorporated, ticker IBKR, and Futu Holdings Limited, ticker FUTU. If you don't recognize that, that's the brokerage platform Moo, if you've ever heard of them. So we're going to review Webull Corporation earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. So let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Hey, sis is in the house. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Oh, wait a minute. You got some birthday thing going on there. It looked like a celebration. Don't tell me I missed it. I could have sworn I made sure I told you. Let me get back. You throwing me off. You making me feel bad during the live stream. Wait a minute. Let's get back. I'm on the wrong thing. Here we go. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. All right, now let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Man, my lips are dry. Guys. I promise you, tomorrow, I'm going to make sure I don't have none of this we went through tonight tomorrow. I promise you. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Let's go to the earnings. Bam. There we go. All right. Got that pulled up. Now, Webull Corporation, ticker symbol BULL, the $3.3 billion company, reported its first quarter fiscal 2026 earnings on Thursday, May 21st. They have a 52-week high of $18.32, which took place on July 24th, and a 52-week low of $4.50 that occurred on April 2nd, which is a trading range of $13.82. And they closed today at $6.26. Webull Corporation earnings report missed. They missed on the top line, reporting revenue of $159.9 million, which was lower than the market expectations of $168.6 million. And they missed on the bottom line as higher marketing and branding expenses, brokerage costs, and increased share-based compensation offset revenue growth. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of EPS was lower than analysts and market expectations of -2 cents when they reported an adjusted EPS of -4 cents. Now, when we look at the Thinkorswim charts, I'm gonna throw this in here right now. They're going to show, and I don't know what I just said, so let me make sure I fix this. When they reported, if I said adjusted, let me fix this now. When they reported a GAAP EPS of -4 cents. Okay. So when we look at the Thinkorswim charts, it's going to show 3 cents. So I'm going to explain to you what those differences are and why they don't match when we get to the charts. Okay. So Webull Corporation reported a GAAP net loss of $21.7 million, which is a swing to unprofitability compared to the $13.1 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2025, they were profitable compared to reporting a net loss now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern time conference call. This is terrible. Everything that can go wrong tonight from me rushing is going wrong. Give me 1 second. Turn this phone off. I didn't even know I had an alarm at this time that go off. Power off. All right. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management stated they will continue to invest behind key growth drivers and international expansion while returning capital to shareholders through their share repurchase program. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $6.26 represents an increase of 39.1% over a span of approximately 2 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in April at that 52-week low of $4.50, they would be seeing a gain of $391.11. Whew. All right, now, guys, we got through it. And I got another comment. Yep, you telling me I missed it. It was Saturday. Happy belated birthday, sis. I am sorry. It was Saturday. I'm so sorry. Things been so crazy. You see what I'm doing during the live. Don't you see me losing my mind in real time? There's always something going on. Spitting ice everywhere. Oh my gosh. Woo. Happy belated, sis. I'm sorry. I don't know my birthday half the time, so don't feel bad. I don't get mad at me. My mom be telling me, I ain't lying. I'm trying to tell you. I done had 2 birthdays where my gift was I was a year younger than what I thought I was. My mom was like, "Boy, that's not your age. You this old." I'm like, "For real? Happy birthday to me." I'll be all over the place. I'm just trying to get through it. So now let's talk about this. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? To find those answers, we browse 4 areas. The homepage for goods and or services. About us for purpose, vision, and mission statements. Careers for employee benefits and opportunities. And investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's visit Webull Corporation's website. Let's go check them out. Now, the website that we have pulled up, guys, let me go ahead and just show you where we at. The website that we have pulled up, this is the investors relations website. This is not the main website you would go to, like if you want to open up a brokerage account with Webull or go to their products and services. So I'm going to show you what that website actually looks like right now. We got another comment. When it comes through, I will bring it up. Okay, here it is. So here's their actual website. So if you were going to sign up, log in, create a brokerage account, this is what that website will look like. So we're going to browse over this website. No, this Saturday. Oh, sis, thank you. Thank you for reminding me ahead of time. Oh, this way I won't miss it. So I'm glad you told me ahead of time. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure that I do not miss it. I'm putting it in my notes. Here's my little pen. I'm gonna write it down right now. Sis' birthday. I got you. Sis. Got you. There you go. Got you. I got you. Thank you for telling me ahead of time. You know, some people will wait till you late and then throw a fit. So thank you for letting me know ahead of time. So let me put Webull back up here. Here we go. So Webull Corporation, we're going to browse over their website. I don't know if they have the investors information stuff on here, but I do know that we're just going to go over it on that other website. Okay, so we're just going to browse over this together. I'm going to read a little bit of it. Webull's trading and investing products. Access a diverse range of investment products to meet your unique financial goals across all of our powerful platforms. All conveniently, I don't know what's going on, conveniently in one place. So they talk about the stocks, options, ETFs, so exchange traded funds. Got it. Okay, so you can diversify. Why invest with Webull? 0 commissions. That's been a thing. I forgot who was the first company that started doing it, but I'm glad they started doing it because it made the rest of the brokerages start doing 0 commissions so they could compete. So with them doing that, it's become almost an industry standard for commissions to be free. Now, options are a little bit different. I don't know if they have commissions for options, but some of the stuff you trade and buy on brokerage exchanges are free, like if it's stocks, but other stuff they might charge you for. So you need to make sure you figure that out or find that out depending on what brokerage you use or choose to use. Advanced charting tools, enhanced pattern recognition tools with detailed drawings, indicators, and technical signals. Let's go. In-depth quotes, level 2 quotes, and NBBO provide detailed insights about market participants and stock price movement. This looks like it's going to be a long scroll, okay? They break down the extended hours. So I'm just going to scroll over it, and then I'm going to go to the investors website because we'll be reading this all day. They got paper trading so you can practice trading without having to use real money, just in case you didn't know what that was. Okay, so we're at the bottom. Investor relations right here. We definitely gonna check that out. We're gonna check out about Webull. Can you click that? Yes, you can. About Webull, investor relations, careers, and that's it. So we scrolled over the homepage on their main website. So let's close this out. or we can just open up the investor relations page. So here's the investor relations page. And let's see. They have products and services there, who we are. Here's the about us. This is what I'm looking for. So about us, who we are. Webull is a technology-driven financial services company committed to building a global trading network and providing clients easy access to the world's financial markets. Awesome. All right. Our mission. Love it. Love the fact that they had a mission statement right here. Webull's mission is to achieve global is local, local is global as a one-stop financial service provider that supports multi-market, multi-business, and multi-product operations. Our services. Now, remember, these websites that we're covering tonight are down in the description for your convenience. If I'm moving too fast or for something you want to see, you can definitely look at that on your own time. So this talks about their global presence, United States, Hong Kong. How do I get this changed? Okay, Singapore, Australia, South Africa, United Kingdom. Okay, guys, they all over the world, and they're telling you exactly where. That's what that is. Compliance and regulation, United States. So they're telling you the different places they are compliant and regulation following with these different places. CBOE. Okay, so here's some of the awards and recognition that they've received. So we can see that there. Now I want to find careers. I don't see that on this one. So let's go back here. I don't see it on this. So let's go here. So here is the nope. Here it is. Here's their main website. Careers is on this one. Let me make sure you can see it. There it is. So I'm back on the main website. I'm not on the investors website, and it opened up on a different window. So let me pull that over so you can see it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. I definitely would appreciate it if you leave a comment and give you a quick shout out. All right. So blow this up. Now, when I go to careers, or when we go to careers, we are looking for the benefits. I don't see it. This looks like they're giving a whole bunch of job information of openings that they have in different departments and things like that. I don't see benefits listed on this page. Okay, so we're done. That's what we look for. I don't see it. I'm moving on. So we're going to go to the investors relations. Here we go. All right, so we're on the investor relations page. We're looking for the stock quote, and we're looking for the charts that they offer on their website. So they operating 14 market. Okay, that's the stock information, blah, 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 blah. Investor relations, product and service, financials. Really? Can we click on any of this? You know what? I'm not going to be too surprised, but I'm going to tell you why I'm shocked. So you're a brokerage firm, right? And you don't even have a chart of your own company on your website. Man, some of these companies be blowing my mind. You are a brokerage. This is what you do. You have services for charts for other people to trade, and you don't even have a chart on your own website about your own company. Wow. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Here we go. Here we go. Bam. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Give me a second, guys. I see what's going on. That's why. All right, we're on the right page now. Here we go. So I did do some company research on Webull before we did the live stream. So this is where I am with this. Now, I started talking about how these companies have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Okay. So something that I found out today was a big difference between a customer and a partner. Okay. So I'm going to read what I got on the script, and then I'm going to explain it to you. So Webull Corporation does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL, Alphabet Incorporated, ticker GOOGL, which is Google, and Amazon.com Incorporated, ticker AMZN. Okay. Now, with me sharing this with you guys with my research that I've been doing on a few live streams, let me explain what this means. If somebody is a customer, this means that they spend money with the company that we're covering. So a customer of Webull, they make money from them. Webull makes money off of them. But if it's a partner, this is someone that Webull spends money with. So Apple, Alphabet, and Amazon make money off of Webull because they pay for their, Webull pays for their services. So Apple and Google, if I'm not, yes, Google. So this is how, what services they pay for with Apple and Google, the Apple Store and the Play Store. So the apps you download to your phone for you to be able to use Webull's platform, that's the partner with Apple and Google. Now with Amazon, they use Amazon's web services. So some people don't know that Amazon's other business that they have, besides the huge retail market space website they have where you buying everything, they offer Amazon web services, and that business of Amazon is actually more profitable than the other business, believe it or not. So they pay for Amazon's web services to host their software on the internet. So that's companies they're spending money with. That's not companies that they're making money off of. So I wanted to share with you guys that it's a distinction between that, and I figured it out, and I need to make sure I told you. So that's that. Now let's talk about this. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders can lose critical details and advanced platform features using apps on phones instead of software on computers or websites. So keep in mind, trading from a smartphone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To access the most details, it's best to use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV, and only use a phone as a last resort. Now let's look at Webull Corporation on the charts. Let's go to Think or Swim. Here we go. Now, let me tell you this. I've actually been looking at Webull for a minute now, and I have been trading them. Me. Not telling you to buy it. Excuse me. Sell it or trade it. I'm just telling you what I've been doing. So I've been watching what's been going on with them, and I'm about to share with you what I see and what's going on now. So we are looking at a 1-year daily chart on the NASDAQ, and they do trade on the NASDAQ. Their 52-week high was the 1832. We can see that here, and we can see the 52-week low at the $4.50. Now, they IPO'd. I don't know exactly when they IPO'd, but I know they haven't been publicly traded for more than 10 years. But we're going to go to the 10-year weekly chart, and we're going to see that it only goes back to 2022. So when we see the years on the bottom of the chart, let me take me off the screen so you can see it. This area here is 2026. Here's 2025. So everything to the left until you get to this vertical dash line is going to be 2025. This is 2024, 23, 22. So it only goes back that far on the 10-year weekly chart. So it's not a full 10 years. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. So over the time frame that we see, you have a weekly high of $79.56 and a weekly low of $4.50. So if we count this time, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about, I would say about 4 years, because we count in 2026 as 1. So this is about 4 years. So this is a 4-year high and a 4-year low. Okay. We're just going to focus on the 1-year daily chart, and we can put me back on the screen and we can do our technicals. So what I'm looking at here, what I already have drawn on the screen so I can break down what I'm seeing or what I saw this as consolidation. Okay. So when a stock or financial instrument, whatever you're looking at, consolidates, it's basically trending sideways. So that's what I saw with this price action. Now, after consolidation, it's going to either go up or it's going to go down. So what I saw, this is what caught my attention. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. And as we can see, it dropped and went down. And when it went down, it started consolidating again. So now when it consolidates again, it's trending sideways. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. Well, we can see that it actually went up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this tool right here. I did not mean to delete everything. That's what I want. So we're going to erase that. So it consolidated, then it went down, and it started consolidating again, and then it went up. Now, if you've been following what I've been saying, we can see that here, it seems like it started consolidating again. But now it's going down out of that. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing with Webull. That's what I'm seeing on the charts. But it did recover from this 52-week low of $4.50. And since then, it's had a high. Let me delete this stuff. Got to find the highest point. So let me go here, switch mice, go here. Which one is the highest point? I think this candle has the highest point. So what's the high on that one? The high on that one is $7.52. Yes. So let's zoom in and see what we're looking at. Let's see if we can get a better view of this. The high of this candle is $7.52. The high of this candle is $7.52. So it looks like it's tested that price level twice. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And just in case you don't know where I'm looking, I'm going to show you that too. So this is where I'm looking at. This area right up here. So you got date. The D is for date, open, high, low, close, and range. Another way for me to do this to make it easy for you to follow along is if I just cut on the floating data box. So that's what I'm going to do. So if we go over here to settings and I cut on the floating data box, it's taking a while to load up. Floating data box, and I mouse over the candle I was looking at, which was right here. You can see in that box, it says that the high was $7.52. So I'm mousing over this red candle here. Now, when I mouse over this green candle, it's the same price point at the high, $7.52. So that's what I was seeing, but I was reading it up at the top. When you have the floating data box on, that area I was telling you about disappears. When I cut the floating data box off, they put it back. See? Okay, so we got that. Now, if I was to draw a consolidation range like I have down here, I would say it's going to be that 752. So here's my consolidation range, and I'm going to extend it over. So what date are we looking for? The date that I'm looking at is going to be May 22nd. So I'm going to put edit properties. I'm going to go to May 22nd. Bam. Click OK. And it's just going to extend it over, guys. That's what I was doing. So now we can see the consolidation range I'm looking at now. So it was trending sideways. Go to this mouse so I can draw this again. So here's the consolidation. And then after consolidation, it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. And we can see that right now it's going down. And it looked like it's going back into this range that it was in over here. That's what I'm seeing as far as right now. Okay, so we did some quick technicals. If we're looking for support, where would support be at? Okay, I'm seeing a gap fill. So if you don't know what that is, let me show you what that is now. So with the gap fill, these two candles, there's no regular trading hours between these two price points of this candle's low and this candle's high. But I think this candle had a lower low than this candle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show the gap. So we're going to look at what this low was and what this candle's low was. So we're going to cut on the floating data box. When I mouse over it, the low of that candle was $6.18. The low of this candle was $6.16. That's why I use that low, because that happened during regular trading hours. So it closed some of the gap, but it didn't close all of it. So since it didn't close all of the gap, we're going to extend this over to the right, and we're going to turn it yellow because that's the color that we use on this channel to identify gaps. So I'm going to go to 2026 December 1st. I just like to take it out that far, guys. You don't have to use that date. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I'm doing now. Because this price level came down into that gap, we need to move it down to this low because this red day had the lowest point. So that was $6.06. So we open that gap, edit the properties, and we take this down to 606. Okay. And then boom. Hope that made sense. So some of the trading action during the regular trading hours are starting to fill that gap. They call that a gap fill. So I'm seeing that it gapped up previously back in April. So it's starting to backfill those price levels. Okay. So let me take this, that off right there. We can take all of those off actually. Delete, and then we can blow this back up. Got to use the other mouse. Here we go. So take this here, zoom back out. All right, we can get the stock quote, guys. We can get the stock quote for Webull and we can move on. So let me zoom back in. We're going to mouse over today's candle. So Webull opened today at $6.19. They had a high of $6.45. They had a low of $6.10, and they closed today at $6.26, which was a trading range of 35 cents. Now, when we look at the trading volume, they traded almost 14 million shares of this stock today. Now, when we look at my volume labels, we're going to figure out or see what is the average trading volume of Webull. Now, when we look over here, the average trading volume for Webull is about 15 million shares in a daily trading session. Today, they did roughly 14, so that was below average. And then on Friday, they did 27 million shares traded on that day. Okay, so now we're going to look at the volume rank percentile. We can put me back on the screen. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 92 of those days had higher volume than today. So when we look at the volume rank percentile, today's volume was higher than 63.5% of the most recent trading day candles, the most recent 252 trading day candles. All right, so that's what I'm seeing. So if we're looking for support, because I didn't actually do that, I'm seeing support here at the bottom of that gap. So that would be the $5.85 price level. If that does not hold, you have another gap down here. So I'm gonna put that on the chart too, because I moved kind of fast. I didn't do this. So we're going to edit the properties. We're going to turn that yellow so you know that that's another gap. And then we're going to extend that out to December 1st. As far as resistance, what I'm seeing in my technical analysis for resistance, I'm seeing resistance at the 9-day simple moving average, which is this dashed green line, and the top of this consolidation range, which is the $7.52. Yes. Yes. It's kind of hard to see because these two levels are so close to each other. So if I space this out, you'll see it. 757 and 752. So I'm talking about the actual 752. Okay. All right. So we can move on. Bam. There we go. Now, community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description. I have no idea what just happened. So let me put this back and I'll manually pull this up myself. Talking about what's down on the bottom of the screen, it ain't there. Here it is, Cash App and PayPal links. There we go. Those are down at the bottom of the screen now. Go back to the chat. And then I need to finish telling you this. Here we go. Here we go. Cash App, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right. So let's go back to the charts. Bam. There we go. We got the Thinkorswim disclaimer up. We're going to put up the SPY. There we go. Now up here, right here in this symbol box, we're going to type in SPY. Bam. All right. Now we have, this is not the right chart. As far as like the levels, I want to put all of the technicals on the screen. I know that's a lot, but we cover the S&P 500 every time we do the live streams. And it looks like they made a new high today. They made a new record high. Wow. This spot is ripping, man. All right, so we're looking at a 1 year daily chart. The SPY trades on the New York Stock Exchange. That's what I'm looking at right here. And now we're going to zoom in to get a better look at the price action of what's going on with the SPY right now. And I'm going to explain some of these lines and levels before you get confused. So let's go back to the 10-year weekly chart. And I want to show you or tell you why we're not looking at this. When we're doing technical analysis, we use historical price data. There are no historical price data for these levels because it's historical highs, record highs. So there's no data we can compare price levels to for the past 10 years. It has never been this high. Okay, so there's a 10-year high of $752.13 that it hit today. So that's why we're only focused on the 1 year daily chart. Wow, oh wow. So our resistance was $749.53, this price level right here. But today it opened above that price level. So when it opened above that price level and closing above that price level, our new level of resistance is going to be the high of this candle that happened today. So we're going to put that price level there and we're going to remove this price level. Remove. Now, let me tell you this rule. Previous resistance turns into support. Okay. But because there aren't other candles to really support that price level like that, you only got two. And then if you look at the wick here, so if you wanted to, I would move the support level to the top of this candle because it crosses all three shadows. That's what I would do. I wouldn't leave it up here on this one. This is how I personally would do it. So today, this looks kind of like, well, yeah, it's indecision because the close is so close to the open. It's like a spinning top. It's really small, but it's still a high. It's still a high. So it's trading above the 9-day simple moving average, and it's trading way above the 200-day simple moving average, which is the dashed white line down here. So as far as support and resistance, it's right in between there. That's where we at with that. So let's go ahead and get the quote for the SPY ETF. So go to settings, cut on the floating data box, hit apply. And here we go. So the SPY opened today at $750.01. They had a high of $752.13. They had a low of $748.37. And they closed today at $750.59, which was a trading range of $3.76. Okay. And now when we look at the trading volume, they traded 41 million shares of this ETF today. Now take me off the screen and we're going to look at the volume labels and we're going to remove this floating data box. So when we go over to the volume labels, the average trading volume for the ETF is 74 million shares in a daily trading session for the SPY ETF. And today we said they did 41 million shares traded. And on Friday, they did 41 million. So they've been consistent with the volume. The volume is holding steady, but it is below average. Put me back on the screen. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 5 of those days had lower volume than today. The volume is pathetic. Okay. So today's volume was only higher than 2% of those most recent 252 trading days. That's crazy. That is crazy. The volume is insanely low. All right, so we covered the SPY. We can go ahead and move on. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. I'm calmed down now. We done messed up so much at the beginning, and we done had some hiccups here and there. Things are starting to settle in, and we getting into the flow of the show. I'm feeling a lot better, a little bit more relaxed because we already got it going. Now, let's look at today's winners and losers. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note, okay? And what's interesting about the loser tonight is that I was looking at this company, and I was like, why in the world won't this company do some stock splits? So let me pull up. Let me make sure I got this right. I already spoiled some of the stuff tonight. I don't want to spoil this one. So let me pull this up and have it ready before I bring you guys over. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I got it. So let me bring you over to the chart, to the Thinkorswim platform. All right. Why is that moving so fast? Let me slow this ticker down. Caption, ticker, speed. There we go. All right, so the biggest loser for today is ticker AZO. You might know them better as AutoZone Incorporated. They lost 8.99% today. Now, here we go with the crazy numbers and why I was saying I don't know why this company won't do a split. Their closing price, their previous closing price was $3,406.50. So that's what they closed at on Friday. And today they closed at $3,100.11. So if you don't know what a stock split is, all this is where a company votes or decide, they vote to decide on whether or not they want to do stock splits. And what they'll end up doing, let's say if AutoZone did a 50-to-1, I hope I'm saying that right, 50-for-1 stock split. So what they would do, they would take that current stock price of $3,100 and divide that by 50. So what that would do, that would bring the share price down to $62. So for every one share somebody already had of AutoZone, they would give them 50 shares to replace that one share. It would still add up to the same amount. See, 3,100 is the same amount. So they're not getting more money. They're just breaking the shares into smaller pieces. They're increasing the amount of shares they have. So they're cutting the company into more pieces, which actually makes the stock more affordable. So more people will trade it. So with it being as high as it is, I noticed that AutoZone has very low trading volume compared to other companies that probably trade at a much lower price per share. Okay, so let's do our hypothetical percentage change. If someone had invested, oh gosh, let's say they just bought, well, they already did the math on that, so we don't want to use one share. We can still use $900. Let's say $900, because you can buy fractional shares of a company if you wanted to. Depending on the brokerage that you use, it's possible to buy fractional shares. Look it up. All right, so $900, if someone invested $900 and they lost that 8.99%, so multiply, hit the percentage, they would have lost $80.91. So we negate that and then we add that back to the $900, which was the principal or initial money that they invested, and that person will be left with $819.09. Bada boom, bada bing. Got it. Now, let's go over to analyze so we can break down what's going on with Amazon, I don't know why I keep saying Amazon. AutoZone. So AutoZone is in the consumer discretionary sector. So what we can do before we break this down even further, let's go over to the Market Watch tab, go to Visualize, and we're going to go to the S&P 500, and we're going to go into the consumer discretionary sector, and we're going to look for I'm about to say Amazon again. AutoZone, all right? AutoZone. Right here, we can see it, very bright red. So right there in that sector, in this sector, but we're looking for the industry now. So I'm gonna drop this down. I believe it's gonna be in automobile components. Nope. Is it automobiles? Nope. Really? Specialty retail? Yeah, it's in specialty retail. Why wouldn't it be in automotive components? That's weird. So AutoZone is in the specialty retail industry inside the consumer discretionary sector. And we can see it's kind of mixed, guys. You got some green in here. Oh, now it's saying automotive retail. You see that? So it's in specialty retail industry, but the sub industry is automotive retail. So now you have O'Reilly, AutoZone, and Carvana. And 2 out of 3 was red, which was O'Reilly and AutoZone. And these are more comparable than Carvana, because I don't think Carvana sells car parts. I don't think. But anyway, we broke that down to see how that's doing in that sector and how it's doing in the industry and sub industry. So let's go back to the Analyze tab and we can talk about AutoZone under the company profile. So let me take me off the screen. We're going to break this down. So here's AutoZone's website. Links for their website is also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company. So AutoZone Incorporated operates as a retailer and distributor of automotive replacement parts and accessories in the United States, Mexico, and Brazil. The company offers a product line of cars, sports utility vehicles, vans, and light-duty trucks, including new and remanufactured automotive hard parts, maintenance items, accessories, and non-automotive products. Bam. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and go to their website. Bam. There we go. Whew. All right. So we're going to browse over. My mouth is dry. Give me a second, guys. We had a lot going on tonight. All right. So we're going to browse over their website and I'm going to point out where we're going to go once we find it. And I'm so glad I have a car that I just take to the shop now. I remember I used to work on my car all the time. I used to always be up in the doggone parts store. AutoZone, O'Reilly's. It used to be, I think O'Reilly's used to be called Murray's. And what's the other one? Advanced Auto Parts. Then you got another one that's I can picture it, but I can't think of the name of it right now. Can't think of the other one. But anyway, here we go. This is where we're going to go. So we've got About Us right here in this section. We're going to go to Careers. We're going to go to About AutoZone, and we're going to go to Investors Relations. So let's go ahead and start with About AutoZone. Holbrook. That's the other one, guys. That's the one I couldn't think of. I could picture it, but I couldn't think of the name. Holbrook. All right, so we're under About AutoZone. Let's blow this up and let's zoom in. I know my energy a little off tonight, guys. I know it is. I got a lot on my mind, but we got to get this done today. And I'm gonna meditate, pray, do some things to clear my head. But I got a lot on my mind. That's all. We're gonna get through it tonight, though. I promise you I'll do better than what I'm doing tonight. I just got some things on my mind. So here we are. We on the About AutoZone page. Let's read a little bit about what they have going on. Today, AutoZone is the leading retailer and leading distributor of automotive replacement parts and accessories in the U.S. Use the links below to find out how we began, where we're headed, and how you can play a role. No. But the links are down in the description for your convenience, for you to do that on your own time. But there go to Careers. We're always looking for talented people to add to our team. So they have the career opportunities, community relations, our company and culture. Our rich history dates back to a single Auto Shack store in Forest City, Arkansas. Following the link below, follow the link below to learn how we became the nation's leading auto parts retailer. So they tell you they trade on the New York Stock Exchange. There's some stock information. So they got investor relations right here and real estate. Everything you need to know about new store development and property management with AutoZone. That's interesting, guys. That's interesting. I don't know if you've seen the McDonald's movie, but they were talking about how McDonald's is also like a real estate. They get prime real estate. And this is the first, I wouldn't say that. Is this the first time? This is the first time I've been on a website where their main business wasn't real estate, but they mentioned real estate, if that makes sense. So I think this is interesting. This is something to look into. Maybe the locations of where AutoZones are at is important. The land and the real estate that they're on might be valuable to the company. I don't know. Might need to look into that. All right, so we talked about that. See, they even have it up here at the top. You see it? Real estate. Let me blow this back up before I mess something up. I didn't even know I didn't have that right. Okay, our company, our culture. Is that just going to scroll? Okay. Opened in 1979 as Auto Shack by J.R. Pitt Hyde III. AutoZone was created with the belief that we can offer ordinary customers clean, well-organized auto parts stores and excellent customer service. Okay, our history and timeline, our pledge and values, our stores. All right. Now, remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Careers. Guys, I'm looking for the benefits. That's where I'm at now. So I'm going to look for the benefits, reject all, and then we're going to look for the investors relations information, and then we're going to go to the charts after I share with you the research that I did. So they talk about the jobs, new job stores, blah, 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 blah. Benefits. Here we go. Here we go. Found them. Take me off the screen. Here we go. Benefits. Medical, dental, vision, prescription drug plans, healthcare savings, rewards, competitive benefits package. Okay. Guys, you can read this. You can see it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this looks very vague compared to, it looks standard. It looks standard and vague at the same time. Like more other websites go into deeper details. Some websites go into less. But compared to what we usually see on the channel, that's very vague. So do I close this out? Yeah, okay. Now we're going to go to investors relations. There we go. And then open up on a different screen. So let me bring that over so you can see it. So here we go. Let's blow that up. Let's zoom in. F11. We got this over here. Put this back. Bam. All right. Now, investor relations, career. We already did all that. So we can see it's very small. Look at this little area over here in the corner. You can barely see that. New York Stock Exchange. They're talking about download that, scroll over. Okay, we're going to go to stock information. I'm just scrolling over the page to see what's on here. It's very short. All right, so let's go to stock information. Bam. So here's the stock quote, and we're waiting for the chart to load. So I think we noticed this last week, like depending on what website we had went to, it might take a while for the chart to actually load up on the page. And I think that they use an outside company to manage the stock data that comes up on these company websites. And I tried to talk to you to keep you busy while it loaded up. Instead of assuming that it wasn't going to come on the screen, I was just giving it some time. So here's the chart they have available on their website. And here are some other investment tools that they have available on their website. Okay. And if we click it, it's just going to scroll down to that section on the page. But all right, we got it. Now let's go here. Cam, I want to talk about what I found in my research. So when it comes to AutoZones, see, I didn't say Amazon. AutoZone, ticker AZO. When it comes to their goods and services, they provide automotive replacement parts and accessories globally, offering solutions such as new and remanufactured automotive hard parts like alternators, starters, and brake pads, maintenance items including batteries, fluids, filters, and windshield wiper blades, diagnostic and repair. I need to break this up because this is not all in the screen for me to be able to read it. Diagnostic, that's not there. So we go here. Give me a second. Bam. All right. Diagnostic and repair software services through their all data platform and commercial credit and parts delivery programs for professional repair garages. And looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include Avis Budget Group Incorporated, ticker CAR, Hertz Global Holdings Incorporated, tickers HTZ, and United Parcel Service Incorporated, ticker UPS. All right. So we got all that. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's blow this up. And we're going to go over to the Thinkorswim charts. We want to look at AutoZone. So here we go. There are the charts. And here is AutoZone. Wow. Look at that gap down, guys. Woo. Okay. So we're looking at a 1 year daily chart. They have a 52-week high of $4,388.11. They have a 52-week low of $3,001. And this is the huge sell-off they had from Friday to today. I'm anxious to do these technicals, but we're going to go back and we're going to look at the 10-year weekly chart first. So we're going to go back and see what we can find over here before we start working on this one. Okay, so let's go back. Man, hey, it looked like AutoZone been on a trend, uptrend for a while though. For real, for real. take me off the screen. Why I didn't do it, I have no idea, but we're going to get it together. There we go. Look, so they have a 10-year low of $491.13. And it's just been trending up, trending, uptrending, trending. And then it had this 10-year high of $4,388.11. And this is that low, that 52-week low candle right here. And it looks exactly like the day candle because this is a weekly candle, but it only has today in it. That's why they match. Now, notice, put me on the screen. My mouth is so dry, man. Notice that the weekly candle found support on the 200-week simple moving average. But if we go over to the 1-year daily chart, it's under the 200-day simple moving average. But it found support on the 200-week simple moving average. This is why I like looking at different time frames. So it's trading below the 9-week simple moving average, but it found support on the 200-week simple moving average. And because it's been on this uptrend, this long-term uptrend, I'm going to say this area right here seems like some consolidation that I like to talk about. And I'm going to put this here. I'm going to connect it to this low. Matter of fact, let me just zoom in. Let's zoom in. I'm going to connect it to this low and this high. And I'm seeing that as consolidation. It fell out of that range and then it went back into it. We actually can extend this a little, extend this over too, so you can see this. I'm going to extend this over to the right. So I'm going to take this over to December 1st of 2026. Okay. So boom, there we go. So we can see that that price action that happened today fell into that support resistance zone. And it found support on a 200-week simple moving average. So if I'm looking for support, I'm going to say support is going to be somewhere in here. And let me explain why. Let me take me off the screen and I'll show you what I mean. Here it was this price level of 2,000. We ain't looked at no stock that was in the thousands like this before. $2,739.10. This is why I'm seeing this. That price level was tested as resistance here. It was tested as resistance here. It got above it here, fell back below it, and just kept testing it. Here, it was tested as support. Okay? So it likes testing this as resistance and support. So I'm seeing this price level as potential support if it was to get below this 200-week simple moving average. And that's why I have that price level. And if it gets below that, this would be my next one. I'll show you what that one would be. My next level for support that I would look at would be right here. Somewhere up in there. So that's $2,375.35. As far as resistance, I'm seeing this 9-week simple moving average as resistance. And if it makes it out of this range, this is too close. I don't want to use that one. So I'll say this week right here. That's potential resistance. Okay. Now let's focus on the 1-year daily chart. So now we can do our technicals from here. So we have our technicals. Put me back on the screen. So we have our technicals. My lips dry. We have our technicals that we drew from the weekly chart. And now we can break this down on the daily chart. I want to focus on this gap that happened between Friday and today. So I'm going to connect it to this candle's low and to this candle's high. We're going to turn this yellow. So go to edit properties, turn that yellow and take that over to December 1st. Bam. There we go. All right. Now, because we have this other zone here. Oh, man. I thought that the yellow would be on top. They put the yellow behind this one. I don't even know if they have a feature where you can move these, where one could be above, you know, behind or on top or whatever. But that's, you have to mouse over to see the outline to see that that actually is that whole area, because this shadow is over that one. But you get the idea. That's the gap that happened today. And this right here looks like a double top. So these two weren't able to get any higher these 2 days. So Thursday and Friday, it looked like it was stalling out. So when we went to the daily chart, we were able to recognize that, but on the weekly chart, we couldn't see it. Because this candle, this candle, this candle, and this candle, I don't want to say that like that. Monday through Friday, this was that weak candle. All of those candles was in one candle to produce a weak candle. So we couldn't see that it was two separate candles that had a hard time getting at that price level, because on the weekly chart, that was just one candle. I hope that made sense. But now that we see that that was two candles, and then we can see these other daily candles having problems at that price level, like it was tested as support here. It closed below it. It got back above it. It was tested as support here. Then when it got below it, it was tested as resistance. So we can see that on a daily chart, but we couldn't see that on a weekly chart. I hope that makes sense to you. So let's go ahead and get the stock quote for AutoZone, and we can wrap this up and move on to the winner. All right, so AutoZone opened today at $3,215.01. They had a high of $3,237.05. They had a low of $3,001, and they closed today at $3,100.11, which was a trading range of $236.05. And their trading volume was 554,000 shares were traded today. All right. Now, it looks like they had earnings announced before the market opened. So let's look at that. Let me cut off the floating data box and look down here. Yeah, guys, they had earnings announced today. I'm trying to verify the date. 26. Yeah, today the 26th. We after 12 now, so it's 27, but 26. So they announced earnings today. So this makes sense. They had some type of news that happened. So maybe their earnings wasn't the best, but I've explained that to you guys before. Earnings can be good or bad, and the price could do the opposite of what the news is. So people think that if something's bad, it's going to go down. Sometimes it's bad and it go up, and sometimes it's positive and it go down. So who knows? All I know is that usually following earnings or on earnings announcements, stocks tend to have an increased amount of volume, and investors and institutions use that as an opportunity to open and close positions. So if somebody wanted to take their money out, this was the prime time to do it, and it could have caused the price to fall even though they had good earnings. It's possible. So let's look at what they usually trade on average. And this is what I mean by them having a stock price that's so expensive, like why they won't do a split. So let's talk about that now. Let me take me off the screen and I'll break this down. So when we go over here to see what their average trading volume is in a daily session, they trade 159,000 shares on average. This is extremely low compared to what we see. But part of the reason it's low like this is because the average retail trader isn't going to trade this stock because of how expensive it is compared to other stocks that's available in the stock market. So when we look at the volume that happened today, we definitely can tell this is above average. This is like 3 times. Yeah, I would say this is about 3 times what they normally get compared to what they normally get. And then on Friday, they did 500,000 shares. They traded 500,000 shares on Friday, and they traded over 500,000 shares today. So both of those days were above average. And then today was even higher than Friday. And then when we look at the volume rank percentile, no surprise here, put me on the screen. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, none of those days had higher volume than today. So the volume rank percentile, of course, is going to be 100%. And that's what we see there. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the biggest winner of today. So we can go back to the Market Watch tab, go to quotes, hit the column, bam. So we can see that the biggest winner for today is Micron Technology Incorporated, ticker MU, and they went up 19.29% today. Their previous close was $751, and they closed today at $895.88. And I don't know if you're paying attention, but right here, guys, it's trading at $937.60 something cents after hours. So they're still trading it and it's still going up. So I'm thinking they had earnings today and they're still going up. Now, I don't know if they were announced after the market, but we're going to find all that out in 1 second. So we're going to select this. We're going to go over to I want to do the hypothetical. So pull up the calculator. So if somebody invested $1,500, for example, and got that 19.29% return, we will multiply this 19.29%, hit the percentage, equal, they would have gained $289.35. We're going to add that to the initial $1,500 investment. So the total investment would have grown to $1,789.35. And the ROI was $289.35. Bam. Now we're going to go over to the Analyze tab, ticker MU. They're in the information technology sector. Now we're going to go over to Market Watch. We're going to go to Visualize. We're going to go to the information technology sector. Information technology. Here we go. And we'll look. Here it is, right here in the middle. Bam. So we're going to drop this down. Am I blocking it? Yes, I am. Take me off the screen. We're going to move a little faster. Didn't take me off the screen. Take me off the screen. There we go. So it looks like it's in the semiconductor industry. Bam. So it looked like NVIDIA was the only one that did bad today out of this whole industry. So in the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment industry inside the information technology sector, NVIDIA was the only one that had a red day, and it was barely. It was negative 0.22%. So this industry did pretty well today. Everybody was green. And Micron did the best. AMD did 7.78%. Micron did 19.29. Wow. Okay. So let's go back to the Analyze tab and talk about Micron. I'm still off the screen. So here's their website. The link to their website is down in the description for your convenience. Now, Micron Technology Incorporated designs, develops, manufactures, and sells memory and storage products in the United States, Taiwan, Japan, mainland China, Hong Kong, Europe, and internationally. Now, let's go ahead and visit their website. Put me back on the screen. Here's their website. Bam. All right, so we're going to scroll over their website. We're going to look for where we're going to go. And I did my research, so we'll talk about that after we go over the website. So investors, we're going to go there. Careers, we're going to go there. And about, we're going to go there. So let's go ahead and browse over the homepage, and then we'll come back and we'll start with the about. Micron is in the invisible, Micron is the invisible layer powering AI. See the unseen. What a marketing thing right there. I like that. I like the wordplay. Innovation makes new solutions possible. Data center, client PC, automotive, mobile, memory and storage for industrial IoT solutions, featured blogs, design tools. Okay, we are at the bottom of the page. Okay, let me see if they have the stuff at the bottom as well. Yes, they do. So they have about, overview, company, awards and recognition. I don't see. Oh, it's right here. So we got investors and careers. That's still at the top. And then we got about. So let's go to about overview. And then we're going to go to company. So let's go to about overview. About celebrating 45 years of innovation. So you can watch a video. Remember, links to the videos featured in tonight's show are down in the description. Company, our history of innovation. Micron began in 1978 as a 4-person semiconductor design company in the basement of a Boise, Idaho dental office. Wow. All right. So memory is everywhere. Our company profile, blah, 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 blah. All right. I don't know what I just clicked. So let me click back. Accidentally clicked something and messed up. About overview. Let's go to company. Our company. We are a world leader in innovative memory solutions that transform how the world uses information to enrich life for all. For over 45 years, our company has been instrumental to the world's most significant technology advancements, delivering optimal memory and storage systems for a broad range of applications. All right, so they talk about the locations, leadership, Micron's vision, mission, and values. We found it. All right. So vision, transforming how the world uses information to enrich life for all. Mission, be a global leader in memory and storage solutions. Value, people, innovation, tenacity, collaboration, and customer focus. All right. Since we have found it, we can go ahead and move on to careers and look for the benefits. About, your talent powers our future. Quick links. Feature opportunities, jobs, locations. At Micron, everyone innovates. Here's a video, links in the description. You want to watch that video. Awards and recognitions. I don't see anything about benefits. Helpful links. Don't see anything. Blah, blah, blah. Equal employment opportunity. Policy statement. All right, about. So products, market industries, partners, sales, and support, and about. Nope, I don't see anything about benefits, guys. Here it is. U.S. compensation and benefits. Right in my face, huh? If it was a snake, it would have bit me. All right, learn more. Let's see if they disclose some of these benefits. So careers, U.S. compensation and benefits, health, income. Okay, now see how this one seems to give more details than, I think that was AutoZone. I almost said Amazon again. AutoZone compared to what AutoZone showed. So if we take me off the screen, these are clickable links. These are hyperlinks. So you can get more details by clicking on these. I'm not going to do it, but the websites are down in the description for your convenience. They talk about way more information than AutoZone did. Okay. Even travel. Medical coverage for business or personal travel abroad is available in addition. That's crazy. Okay. Now let's go to investors. Please don't open up it in different. It didn't. Cool. Put me back on the screen. We're on the investors page. We're going to blow this up because I think they downsized it. Yes, they did. So that's 150. Investor relations menu. Can we see the stock information over here? No. So we're going to scroll down and see what we can find. Get off the screen. There it is. Close menu. Investor relations, quarterly, blah, blah, blah. Earnings presentation, governments, risk factors, SEC filings, quarterly. Where is the, so they don't have the stock quotes on here? Am I tripping, guys? Did I scroll over it? I don't think I saw it. Investor relations, web, events. These are quarterly results. I don't even see the stock quote, like the price, where it trades, or nothing. Let's say design tools. Why would you do that? What would design tools be? That's weird. That's weird. And then the menu. So you took us to investor relations. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about stock quotes, guys. I don't see it. Here it is. It's over here, but it ain't on the page. Man, that's goofy. So there's the ticker. There's the ticker. There's the stock price. That's the percentage change and the net price change. But they don't have the stock quote and the charts like we saw on AutoZone. So AutoZone had them beat on that part. But as far as the benefit section, they had more details when it came to that. All right, let's go to my research. Let's move on. So here's what I found in my research about the company. So Micron Technology Incorporated, ticker MU. When it comes to their goods and services, they provide innovative memory and storage solutions globally, offering products such as high bandwidth memory for artificial intelligence data centers, dynamic random access memory chips for personal computers and servers. Let me split this up. All right. Flash memory storage for smartphones and mobile devices, and solid state drives for enterprise and client computing infrastructure. And looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL, and Hewlett Packard Enterprise Company, ticker HPE. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the Think or Swim charts. Bada boom, bada bing. We're going to put this disclaimer up. I guess it was already there. Yep. All right. So we're going to go over to the charts. And I believe we covered Micron a few times. Yeah, we have. So we've done some technical analysis on Micron before. Let's peek at the 10-year weekly. I think these are historical highs as well. So we're not going to see. Yeah, this is nuts. So let me take me off the screen. This is nuts, guys. All right, so their 10-year low, 10-year weekly low is $11.05. Can you imagine? And now this stock trading at $916.80, and 10 years ago was $11.50. Man, we could actually get the percentage gain by using the tool. I don't know if I'm gonna connect it to the right candle because it's so small, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So I'm gonna go to edit properties because we can't see it because it's cut off. So we're gonna move it to the middle. Go to OK. So it's saying over a course of about 3,000, not about, these are the exact days. So it's telling you the time, 3,612 days, 517 bars. These bars are weeks, but the percentage gain is over 7,000. So 7,872.17% gained. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's do a hypothetical so you can see how crazy that it is, because you probably think I'm crazy the way I'm saying it, but you need to see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to click on it so it'll stay active. That's not how we do it. Change this to the arrow. And when I click on it, it'll stay active. And now it won't do both. I think I'm going to have to do this. Hit the calculator. There we go. And then hit this and then it'll do it. There we go. So now 7872 nope, I gotta click this. 7872.17 percentage. So we click percentage. Why didn't it do anything? Why did it do that? Let's try this a different way. Let's say 10,000 times. And then what was it? It was 7,000. 7872.17. 7872.17%. There we go. So if somebody had invested $10,000 when it was $11.50, they would have turned that into $787,217 over that time frame. That's crazy. All right, let's go to the 1-year daily chart and get these technicals out of the way so we can remove this. Move that tool. So we got the 52-week low. Take me off the screen. The 52-week low was $92.22. The 52-week high was $916.80, and that happened today. That was their 52-week high today. That's a record high for this company. Here's the gap between Friday and today. And it looks like this candle has a shaven bottom, which we're going to talk about in 1 second. So let me put the gap color on this, and we're going to bring this out to December 1st, and we'll talk about that shaven bottom. So when a candle opens and has a low, when it's a green candle, let me be specific. When a green candle opens on its low, it's called a shaven bottom. So when I mouse over it, let me cut on my floating data box real quick, even though we're not about to do the stock quote because we're still doing the technicals. I'm looking to see if the low and the open is the exact same price. It's not, but it's really close. So the open was $820.50, and the low was $820.30. But because they're so close, it almost looks like the bottom is flat. So that's what I was seeing. So cut that off. So it's not quite a shaving bottom, but it's really close. So there's the gap up that happened between Friday and today. So as far as resistance, our resistance is going to be this new 52-week high. And as far as support, first area of support, if it gets through this gap, is going to be the 9-day simple moving average. And then I'm seeing this as support. And that area was tested a few times. It was tested here, 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 and here. This didn't quite come down to it, but if you wanted to, you could do it as a zone. So let me show you how to do that as a zone. So if we connected that high to this, and then we extended it, and we'll extend it to December 1st, like I've been doing. December 1st, ma'am. Okay, so that's a support zone. So we just turned it into a zone so more candles could touch that area. So those are my technicals. We don't really need to go any deeper than that. The price action right now is trading above the 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. It gapped up. There's our gap. Here's our support zone. And I'm also seeing the simple moving average, the 9-day simple moving average as potential support if it breaks through this gap. Okay. All right. So let's do our stock quote for Micron. And we can talk about the volume as well. So Micron opened today at $820.50. They had a high of $916.80. They had a low of $820.30, and they closed today at $895.88, which was a trading range of $96.50. The trading volume, they traded 76 million shares of this stock today. All right, so I'm gonna cut off the floating data box. And when we're looking at the volume, they did not have earnings today, I don't believe, because I'm not seeing it show up on the charts, but they definitely had a spike in volume. So I don't know what that catalyst was or reason behind it. Was there news or something that happened today? I don't know, but we're gonna take me off the screen. When we look at the average trading volume for Micron, they usually only trade 31 million shares in a daily trading session. So they did over two times that, because they did the 76 million. They did 76 million. And then on Friday, it was slightly higher than average because they traded 36 million compared to the average of 31 million shares in a daily trading session. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, none of those days had higher volume than today. So this is days above DA. None of those days had higher volume than today. That's why the volume rank percentile percentage is 100%. So today's volume was higher than all of those 252 candles compared to today. All right. So guys, we did it. We done. So we can go ahead and wrap the show up. So I appreciate you for sticking with me. Appreciate you for sticking with me and watching the whole show and liking and commenting and subscribing. And even if it's the playback, still comment, ask questions, figure it out. Figure out what you want to do. If there's something you want to know, go ahead and leave it in the comments, ask the question. I'll get back with you. And I'm about to start scheduling the actual Q&As. So the plan is to do Q&As on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to put that up on the channel so you guys can know exactly when we can all just get together and ask questions, look at different charts, and you can bring up companies. We can look at them together. We can get together as a community and just talk about all different types of stuff and go back over to some of the comments that was made throughout the week and even pull up some comments that I've seen on other content creators' channels and talk about some of the questions that's been being asked. Okay, so we're going to definitely check that out. So make sure you stay tuned. So let's wrap up tonight's show. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I've done 2 interviews with up-and-coming content creator Tiara Owens, sharing how I got started investing in the stock market, my profits and losses, and a link to that playlist of interviews are down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.